can I tell you? So I'm feeling a little wonder in my womanish today? Yeah, I am. Do you know why? Well, because I'm realizing that one bad chapter in my life doesn't define my whole book. Yeah, seriously. Now, I don't know about you, but if my life were a book, I'd have a hard time identifying its genre. I would. I mean, some chapters for sure would fall under something like action or adventure. Yeah. And then there'd also be a hint of mystery and of suspense, just kind of sprinkled throughout. Because you know, all of us women, we have a little mystery to us. And then as much as I hate to acknowledge it, there's also been some chapters that have been more like drama, or even worse, like American Horror Story or something. Yeah, I'm not kidding, I wish I was. You know what I mean, right? Like those chapters that have all the ugly stuff in our lives that we'd rather ignore, the mistakes, the less than proud moments, all the dirty laundry. Yeah, I know, it's terrible, right? But I have plenty of that. And you know, in previous times, when I've looked back, I've usually tried to ignore those chapters altogether. But most recently, instead of making pretend that they're not a part of my book, I've actually tried something different. Yeah, I have. So I've gone back and I've reread those chapters. I know, that sounds crazy, right? Because why would I want to revisit any of that? Bad relationships, bad jobs, missed opportunities, mistakes. Well, let me tell you why. Are you ready? See, because I can't appreciate the good things in my life in the way that I should if I haven't had any bad things to compare those good things to. Yeah. Did you catch that? Okay, let me tell you again. See, it's like it's not until you taste a sour worm that you realize just how sweet Swedish fish are. You get me now, huh? See, like for me, for example, the bad things have become almost like a measuring tool that make me more alert, more aware, more grateful when something good does come around. So like take a bad relationship, for instance. Unless you've been in one, then you wouldn't have anything to measure a good one by. Yeah. And you might not even recognize a good one when it comes along were it not for the bad one. I know, it's crazy the way that works, but it works that way. Or even like a bad inflexible job or a boss that's bad. And were it not for that boss or that circumstance that provided that extra push, then maybe you wouldn't have started that dream business. Yeah, maybe it would have never happened. Or even something simple like being broke. Yeah, because there's nothing that will help you appreciate a side hustle more than an empty wallet. To eat or not to eat, that's the question. And then, have you ever bought like a really bad mascara? Like the type that clumps up? I hate that, yeah. And then you go and you get a really good one from like Sephora or something, and then it's all love after that, because even that counts. Now, don't get me wrong, I can't tell you that I love or that I'm ever so grateful for all the bad chapters, because I'm not. But what I am learning is that those bad chapters, yeah, they're not the whole story or the whole book of me, you know? And so chapter 6 doesn't have to define chapter 7 or chapter 8, but instead it's kind of just all woven together. Yeah. And it helps me to appreciate new chapters when I'm in them. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, my story, it doesn't end there. There's so many more chapters to be written. Comic, travel, romance, thriller, yeah. And that right there, not letting one chapter define my whole story, that's the wonder in my woman. Perspective, yeah.